Today we're going to be talking about a simple R134A refrigerant system on a Freightliner tractor. Going to go over the refrigerant flow, the components, what they do, their uses, I guess. So yeah, let's go through. So right here, I'm going to consider this where it all starts. Here's your control head. Pretty standard in most vehicles with a AC system. Right here is going to be your AC command switch. So that right there, whenever the vehicle's on, whenever you see that lit up, that means that it is sending a command to the compressor clutch relay to command the clutch to kick on to start the flow of refrigerant from the compressor. And here's your AC compressor right here. This is what pushes refrigerant throughout the system. These are your lines right here where they bolt up. This is going to be your suction and discharge lines. So this right here would be your suction line, or your discharge line. So this is going to be your high side line, and this would be your suction line, which is going to be your low side line. So pretty much how this works is electromagnet inside the compressor. When the AC command is sent, it sends a signal to the PCM, which sends a signal to the compressor, which turns on the electromagnet, which sucks the clutch back and starts to flow refrigerant. So the refrigerant is pretty much flowing. This is just turning a low pressure gas into a high pressure gas, which is eventually going to turn to a high pressure liquid, into a low pressure liquid, into a low pressure gas. So here we go. So here it's going to come out of the discharge line, or the high side line. It's going to come up through, and it's going to come right up here through the condenser, which I'm going to jump on. So here, right here in the front, we have our AC condenser. Now air is drawn using our fan clutch in this state. You can't have a fan clutch where there can be electric fan, but it helps draw air and directs it through the grill into the condenser, which works like a radiator as a heat exchanger. This is where refrigerant flows through to kind of start its cooling down process, I guess you could say. From our condenser, it's going to go into our receiver dryer, which is going to work like a filter, and then it's going to come up through the line right here, and then it's going to go into our expansion valve, or our metering device. This could your metering devices are primarily either going to be an orifice tube or an expansion valve, as in this case, the expansion valve. So this is just a metering device. It meters the amount of refrigerant going through at one time. So next up is going to be our evaporator. Evaporator kind of looks like a big aluminum, it's usually aluminum, radiator, real thick, and that is where refrigerant flows through. So can't really access it. Well, I guess this would be considered part of it, but you can't really access it or see it. It's usually behind the dash. Usually a lot of dash work involved in replacing one, but that's where refrigerant will just kind of flow through. And then the refrigerant is picked up by the blower motor, which is going to be here under the dash as well. The blower motor actually pushes pulls the refrigerant, or it pulls the cool air off of the evaporator and through the duct systems to create air conditioning, I guess you could say. So the higher the speed, the more air it's pushing through the ducts, the more cool air it's taking off of the evaporator. If your blower motor is not operating properly, is not moving enough refrigerant through the system quick enough, then you could have an evaporator freeze up. Just little things to think about going through the components. Which leads us all back to right here. So in the end story, we have our AC switch, which commands our AC compressor to move refrigerant, starting at the moving it straight to the condenser, to the receiver dryer. Then it comes up through the expansion valve, then through evaporator, and then goes back through to the compressor to be recycled through the system. So this is a closed loop system. It reuses the same refrigerant constantly. It's constantly going from high pressure to low pressure, from suction to discharge, all throughout the entire process of the AC being on and running. So that's basics of the components and how the refrigerant flows through the AC system. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to wear your seatbelt, drink lots of milk, and don't talk to strangers. Y'all have a good one.